How special was last night for you with the crowd and going back to Philadelphia? And just what were the memories that you remember from last night?
It was incredible to go back home. I had some family members there, and just to reminisce a little bit about the things you miss, because I'm going on 8 years at Penn State and 2 years at Boston U, so I haven't been back to Philly. I go back recruiting and work and things like that, but it was nice to kind of be there all day and kind of drive around the city, and I was telling the guys I was with in the car just some of the special spots, where I went to high school, where I went to college. I lived here when I was 25. I lived here when I was 30. And this is where I lived when I was the director of ops at Villanova. And just little things like that, just great memories of reminiscing a little bit, a little nostalgia. It was cool. And to be up there in front of everybody after the Birds won a Super Bowl, and the Sixers gave a great effort last night, so it was, and threw a little wah-wah in there. So we put the underdog helmets on too, or mask, whatever you want to call that. So we had a good time. We had a lot of fun.
What's your go-to at Wawa?
Probably an Italian shorty. Maybe a breakfast sandwich. Coffee's pretty good too.
You talked about the changes in recruiting for you guys recently, about people now calling you, different level of prospect.
Yeah.
Besides those elements, what are the biggest differences, especially now that you've seen in recent weeks, last couple of months, with your recruiting efforts, 2019, 2020?
Well, people are taking our calls. That's always positive. People are calling back. That's always positive. And we're looking at the team and where we need to go and what we have to forecast out. It's such a, I'm going to kind of answer this in a couple different ways, Andrew, all right? So you look at our roster next year, it's really got a nice mixture. And we got to make sure we stay old, because when you're a little bit older, you find success, or talented, you find success in the Big Ten. And that's the goal, to continue to get better in the Big Ten, exceed what we did last year. So we're looking at all of that. The focus going into 2019, 2020 is probably going to have to be bigs. You don't know if Mike's going to be back. John's going to be back. Satchel's going to graduate. And so now you're going to be a little bit lighter at the 5 spot. So we got to really look at that. And small forward, if Lamar happens to go early, we got to be prepared for all of this. So we're really going to scour the country. The footprint in the Northeast is really good for us right now. I think we're on to some really good recruits, have some really good relationships, but definitely are getting into some places we haven't been in a long time, and they're very receptive to what we did last year, the 26 wins, the championship, what Tony has done for this program, and Tim Frazier being in DC, Tim Frazier being on an NBA roster. So all that really helps.
Is the recruiting equation different after you get better, from the standpoint of when you got Tony and Lamar, you knew you were going to have those guys for a finite amount of time, and it would be a matter of, you've got to find Tony and Lamar again and again and again. Is it different when you get to a better place to find those replacement guys, so to speak, than it maybe was 4 years ago?
Yeah, I agree. It's never easy. You guys know this. Recruiting's never easy. It's hard, and you got to develop trusting relationships. But it's definitely better off a winning season. When the last game of the season you found success and you cut down some nets, and you did it in New York, you did it at the Garden, and you beat some really brand names on the way to that championship, and you're the only game on that night. So the amount of responses that I was, the Temple game, the Marquette game was enormous, Mississippi State and Utah. I'm just thinking of the games and the nights that the NCAA tournament wasn't going on. It just truly helps. Yeah, we have to find the next Tony. No doubt, we have to find the next Shep and the next Lamar and the next Mike, and we have to continue that process, because we're in the top 6 right now in my book, and we want to stay in the top half of this league, and we want to fight for Big Ten championships. So it's definitely better for us when we make those phone calls, because everybody has seen us, and they also can Google and see 26 wins, second most in the history. And then I'm going to let everybody know about the 51 records broken and good things, good information like that. So it's definitely better.
Do you think you have to get classes that are recruited that high to stay there, or do you have a luxury of going, we need a big, let's find a good big, we need a forward, let's find a good forward?
Well, if you look at our roster right now, I think right now we need to find a really good big and a really good small forward and a really good basketball player in general. I don't think we'll ever have the luxury, because you just don't know what you're going to get after the season. You don't know if somebody's going to turn pro, which is a good problem to have. You don't know if somebody's going to transfer, which is unfortunate. But you have to be prepared for all those challenges. And we were this year. We were ready to go. I mean, to be able to pick up Myron and Isaiah that late for us, I don't think we've really have ever done that since I've been here anyway.
I don't know if you answered this already, but Myron, is he somebody you think can come in right away and contribute and what's kind of, effective?
So, excellent basketball player. I think 2.470 top 100, 4-star, if I'm correct. Somewhere 3, but somewhere 4. I saw him at 85, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right,
So, really good shooter and very athletic. High IQ for the game, great competitor. That's why he was going to play for Tubby Smith in Memphis at that time. So we were really fortunate to be able to get somebody like MJ to come and join our program. So he's going to get every opportunity. He's every bit of 6'4", and with conditioning and working out all summer long, he's going to have a chance to play critical minutes. You got to think about it this way: what, it's 68 minutes from Tony and Chet, right around there, 68 minutes, and Nas 15 to 17 minutes. There's a lot of minutes to be had at the guard spot right now.